Today's video is brought to you by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community for creatives where millions come together to take the next step in their creative journey. If you've ever wanted to learn graphic design, create a YouTube channel, or even just improve your storytelling for your D&D group, Skillshare has a ton of courses and classes made for you. Members get unlimited access to thousands of inspiring classes with hands-on projects and feedback from a community of millions. So I was watching Standout on YouTube by Jaza, someone that I follow on YouTube as well. He does an amazing class here on Skillshare, and it definitely helped me out with improving not only this channel, but other channels that I'm a part of as well. Skillshare has been amazing and offered my audience 2 free months of Skillshare Premium just by clicking the link down below. Only for the first 1,000 people to click it though. So if you guys are interested at all, go ahead and get your 2 free months right now with the link down in the description below. So if you are a lifelong learner or a dabbler of new skills, then Skillshare is the place for you. Go ahead and check out the link down in the description below. Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Jeff and today we're going to have some fun playing Magic, and we are playing some Felidar Aerie today. So Felidar Retreat, 4 mana enchantment, which I think will be played in many of different ways. And this is kind of my first take on the deck here with this, but 4 mana enchantment landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you get to choose one of these 2 options. Either create a 2/2 white cat beast creature token, or put a +1/+1 encounter on each creature you control. Those creatures gain vigilance until end of turn. Basically, there's so many different ways to play this card. First off, the first ability is just useful. Just anytime you hit a land, you get a 2/2. Okay, I'm down, I'm in. This also stacks, so if you have multiple of them, if you have multiple land drops in a turn, you can get so many triggers. And then just being able to put counters onto everything, giving them vigilance, that can go into like a mono white aggro deck or a Boros aggro deck. Like just hitting a land drop once a turn, or even like one every other turn, and linking with Boros decks is actually still really busted and good. So like it can work in there. It can work in just a normal, control deck where you just have this as the only win condition, because it will win games even like that. And so I decided to go with a deck that was a little bit more synergistic. This is the way I like to build decks. Is I like to try to say, okay, this does something really cool. I want to fit it with something else that does something really cool, which is Griffin Aerie, which is a 2 mana enchantment at the beginning of your end step. If you gain 3 or more life this turn, create a 2/2 white Griffin creature token with flying. They just played so similarly together, especially with Uro being able to be the perfect in-between card for each of them, drawing us cards, gaining us life, and putting extra lands onto the battlefield, ramping up to it, or whatever, just getting us to a point where we can be putting lands onto the battlefield with Felidar Retreat. We just get to create a bunch of tokens. The nice thing about Griffin Aerie is it creates flying tokens for us, which can then swing over the top and get in for damage, especially if they're vigilant and having +1/+1 counters put on them. They get really amazing. And the nice thing about Griffin Aerie is that it's a 2 mana enchantment, which is way different in just value overall of Felidar Retreat. That is probably the biggest issue of Felidar Retreat, is that it is 4 mana. It takes that entire turn 4 play. You can play it on turn 5 if you have like lands to play afterwards. You can get a lot of value out of it. Fabled Passage works great with this because you can crack it and use stuff after the fact. And I just remember there is a card I need to change real quick with this. I'm going to do that real quick and come back. All right, I just remembered Ancient Green Warden, 6 mana, reach, 5/7. Also lets us play lands from the graveyard. This is really, really nice to have when we have Felidar Retreat and Fabled Passages, because we can just bring back Fabled Passages even if we start running out of our basic lands after a while, which honestly, the way that I built my land base is to make sure that we can have enough basic lands to be able to play 3 copies of Rolling Regrowth. There's just ways to go digging up our basic lands with Fabled Passage, with this, with Ancient Green Warden, that we can actually be bringing things back consistently, so we can have multiple triggers for Felidar Retreat, which we're planning on going late game with this deck. So if we don't have our forests or any more basic lands in the deck, it gets a little bit awkward when you play Fabled Passages. But if we have Ancient Green Warden, we can at least bring it back every single turn, crack it again, and do some cool stuff with it. And so it ends up working out pretty well. The one downside of this deck, we do get to have a lot of these lands, these extra lands in our hand as well. The modal lands, which are really sweet. Disruption is pretty nice here. The biggest downside is we're pretty heavy into wanting Uro triggers happening consistently for our deck to gain us 3 life, to have us draw cards, and putting extra lands into the battlefield. The 3 life gain is really important, that we have Revitalized here. We have Gilded Goose creating food tokens and the Uro. And then also Eldred Gargaroth being able to gain us 3 life as it attacks or blocks, which is pretty nice. I just kind of trimmed down the 2 copies of Gargaroth to add in the Ancient Green Warden, because I do think that this has a little bit of stability on the top end, where Uro doesn't actually let us put these lands into play from hand. That is one thing, if you haven't run into it yet, these don't count as lands in hand. They only count as a thing you can cast or play as a land rather than cast it as a spell. So, but Uro, when it checks to see if you have a land in hand, doesn't count that way. So just letting you guys know, that's how that works. But this is the deck. I don't want to dive too much further into it. We are playing Griffin Aerie. We're doing all the 3 life gain type of synergies that we can have to make sure it gains us, it works for us, and we're getting tokens. The real benefit here is getting multiple of them out, which we can do a lot easier than getting multiple Felidar retreats just because of the cost. And then once we have 2 or 3 of these each, we can just stack up, try winning the game, and then do that. The biggest threat to our deck is Uro. That's the reason, sorry, not Uro, Ugin. The biggest reason we don't play Ugin ourselves is because destroying all of our Griffin Aeries and Felidar retreats just don't fit well with this deck. That's not what we want to do. Yeah, Ugin itself might win us the game by putting it down, but there's a lot of decks that are kind of playing around it now. And that's why we have to try to counter it. That's why 1 disruption comes into the land base to make sure that we have a chance to at least counter it. And then also 2 copies of Sublime Epiphany. Typically, we're going to be fast enough, especially with the ramp that we have, to be able to play Sublime Epiphany on the turns that we think Ugin might be coming out. And we just hope that we have the counter spells for it. I would like to fit more counter spells in the deck for that, but with the desire to go for 3 mana a turn, or gain 3 life each turn and hit lands each turn, it makes the slots that we have available to us a lot smaller. Same with removal. I kind of squeezed it in after I played this out a little bit on stream, and it just wasn't really working for me. I decided to squeeze in a little bit of removal. Skyclave Apparition actually fits perfectly in this deck. It could go up to a 4 of. The nice thing is that we are totally fine if a blue illusion comes out onto the battlefield, because it doesn't bug us whatsoever if that happens, because we are going to create tokens to block it all day long. Like just even a 4/4 illusion should be just fine for us to handle all day long, especially with the amount of life that we're gaining, everything like that. And the nice thing is that this can be copied with Sublime Epiphany to be a really, really cool effect. So anyway, that's it. Let's go ahead and jump into the gameplay, see how this does for us, and wish me luck. Alrighty, it looks like the game is having a lot of issues right now with this one. We may have to exit out and restart or something at some point, but we're going to try playing it out. So keep this. Not an amazing hand. We have no ways of actually making Griffin Aerie work with this hand. We have all 3 colors though. That's kind of what I'm banking on. And we can hopefully find some ways to do it. I'm going to go ahead and dig for my blue now. It'd be nice to hold on to that for turn 4 if we find like Griffin Aerie, but really we would need it on turn 5. So let's just grab blue mana while we can and be happy about it. And it is such a laggy game right now. I need to get rid of the pet here as well. I guess I shouldn't be giving him information, but whatever. Doesn't bother me. Dude, the lag is real. It is intense. Man, they just keep having so many issues with this game. It really gets bothersome. Uro was the best draw possible there. That was sweet. Which way am I wanting my hair to go? It's going that way. There we go. So I've changed up the time that I'm recording videos, trying to work it out a little bit better with my family. All right, let's go Uro. Hopefully we can find a tapped land here. That'd be really nice. So I'm streaming more at night now, which is good. You know, the other card that we can bring into this is Joriel, creating more tokens for us. It works like that works great with all of these as well. Joriel, Griffin Aerie, and Uro would just like, oh, works so well together. So maybe 2 copies of Joriel will come in. I'm not going to put into this one, but telling you guys in the first game, Joriel would be pretty sweet in this deck. All right, so let's go with Griffin Aerie. And I think we just go Gilded Goose. We can create, we can sacrifice it on the next turn. It gives us a little bit of ramp if we do want to use like Sublime Epiphany instead. If we find the Felidar retreat, yeah, we'll see what ends up working out. Man, it's going so slow. No attacks. Pass the turn. The party deck gets to a critical mass at some point, and so I'm a little bit worried about this. The fact that they already have Indestructible and Hexproof whenever they want it is bad. Teferi can help a little bit. No blocks, take it. Down to 20, pass the turn. Ancient Green Warden would be really fun. I could just gain 3 life, and guarantee that I get 2 griffins, which is pretty sweet stuff. And just make another food token to do that every turn. Like that's not a bad way to go, right? So let's just do that. Crack a food. Be able to make a food with the Gilded Goose. We're gonna be able to take the damage here all day long. It'd be nice with our deck that's full of lands to, you know, hit lands and stuff, but whatever. Down to 18, pass the turn. If we do find a Felidar Retreat and are able to kind of use it soon, the party deck goes really wide, does lots of things, but they don't have a ton of blockers and they don't gain a lot of life. So we can still get there, and that's the hope. All right, so this guy can't block. That's fine. They do have the full party now. We're fine taking 3 damage here, though. We're going to gain 3 life every single turn. They'll probably swing in here with the Tazri as well. Again, I'm not terribly worried at the moment. Does this also counter activated ability? Sweet. All right, we'll say no blocks. Keep growing the board. Take 7. The lag is real. The lag is real. All right, gaining 3 life, drawing cards, and doing more stuff. That is worth doing right now. We really need to draw cards. If we can also crack with the food, that'd be nice. All right, so go Uro. We don't really have a board wipe in this deck, which, because we're playing enough creatures, it's hard to fit into the deck. You don't want that. All right, we know they're going to have lots of damage to swing in with next turn. We can swing in for 4 here. Let's swing. We get 2 more blockers. We can block the Linvala, take some more damage, which is fine. Yeah, let's go ahead and swing in. Keep their life total going lower. Unfortunately, they have a full party, which can be really bad for us. Down to 14, pass the turn. Create some tokens. If we get their life total low enough, I mean, we're doing 10 points of damage next turn if they aren't careful. If we get the Felidar, unfortunately, we don't have the ability to draw 2 cards here. Felidar Retreat with a land drop would have been really nice. Stops one of these guys from blocking. We probably will chump with a Gilded Goose. Okay, resolve. Everything's indestructible, so killing any stuff isn't going to happen here. So we block, take 7. 7 is an okay number here, I think. Down to 12. Okay, pass to my turn. There's another land. Unfortunately, we've been drawing a little bit, like, it's taken way too many turns to draw the lands that we needed forever ago. That lets us get to Ancient Green Warden. It lets us get to Sublime Epiphany. So what can we actually do this turn? We can turn off the full party by using Teferi. It'd be really nice to actually be able to gain some life, though, too. So as they go to combat, we can turn off their full party, and hopefully it helps. If they play any other creatures, though, we're kind of screwed. Which I think that we may have been a little bit too slow in this game anyway. We just ran into dead draws 3 turns in a row, which was not what we needed. All right, so draw a card. Drop a Roiling Regrowth, I guess. No attacks, pass the turn. We actually want to stop here before they go to combat. So they're trying to go to combat now. We have to do this before it triggers because it says at the beginning combat will automatically trigger. It will check to see if you have a full party as it goes to trigger it. I'm trying to think of how this will work. So they can sacrifice the angel. They have warrior, cleric, wizard. So they're missing one thing if we let it go. So I think we let this resolve while it's on the stack. So hold control here. While it's on the stack, we stop Linvala because it's the most likely to sacrifice herself anyway. Okay, so she sacrifices it. Now there's no angels, which means I believe that these don't trigger. Okay, they all have hexproof. That's fine. All right, so we played that right. We're still in trouble. This is definitely not good. Getting a Felidar retreat for the next turn would be sweet. In fact, we actually come pretty close to winning. Oh, we have some digs for it as well. All right, swings in with everything. We have to survive. So they have plenty of damage. So if we found a Felidar retreat and we were able to hit the land drop twice, put counters onto these things twice, which would include the Gilded Goose, we could swing in for yeah, so 2 times it'd be 4/4s. So we'd have exactly lethal if we could keep everything alive. I don't think that's possible though. So we're at least waiting another turn. Actually, if we had rolling regrowth as well, not quite enough mana. All right, so block you. We could kill the squad commander here as well. We take 6, 10, we go to 2. I'm not sure how great that is, but we're gonna do it. Especially with such a wide board. Now we find the Felidar retreat, we just create blockers. Try to gain some life along the way here as well. Digs for more creatures. You can do this at instant speed, right? All right, Paragon comes out. That's All right, draw a card. There's the Felidar retreat. They have a full party. They don't have anything that cares about a full party other than creating a flyer, which we are fine with. We have blockers for that. I just don't think we needed to be able to gain life and do this at the same time. So I'm discarding something here, so I can discard the Felidar retreat, get Uro back to the board with the other Griffin Aerie, and have 4 blockers, 3 more life. Oh, this is hard. Let's drop the... Let's just give ourselves options. Drop the rolling regrowth right now. So 5 cards in graveyard. If I crack the Fable Passage and grab a forest, I can play Griffin Aerie, bring back Uro. I think that this is the way it has to go to have a shot to survive for the turn. And then we hopefully hit a land for the Felidar retreat to win. So activate ability, grab a forest. Please don't go too slow on me. Bring Uro back. Gain 3 life. Yeah, get rid of everything. Gain some life. If we hit a land, we actually don't put out Fabled Passage here. So decline. No attacks. Their opponent's saying good game. I don't think that they have lethal on board though. Linvala is annoying. It stops something from being able to block. Okay. Iona. They don't have the squad commander. These guys do help out though. It's annoying. Okay, goes to combat. If we can keep even like 3 of the Griffins alive, we have such a good chance here. Not a great chance, but there's a chance. Yeah, because big guy flying, 2 big guys flying, that's fine. Okay, so resolve. Resolve. Opponent with a premature good game. I don't think they have it here. Swings with everything. Okay. Game's taken forever and a half. Oh, it's my fault. All right, yeah, pass. All right, so chomp, kill you, chomp. We will go ahead and trade off here. Kill this. So we're taking 3. 3 is okay. They can get Linvala can give them all hex indestructible here, which saves the Paragon and this guy. Interesting choice, but totally makes sense. All right, Revitalize would be the best draw here. Okay, draw a card. Gilded Goose gives us that gives a chance to gain life here. I might drop the Green Warden. I like to hold into Sublime Epiphany, but that doesn't actually stop us here. Nice. All right, what other options do we have? All right, there's the Revitalize. Ah, man. All right, drop the Castle of Vantris here. Actually, we get to draw another card with Uro as well. If we swing. All right, drop Castle of Vantris. We play Felidar Retreat. Gilded Goose. Fable Passage. Create a cat. We crack this now so that we can hopefully find a land with Revitalize to then, so we have 2 digs for Revitalize with Uro. Let's grab, I guess, another forest island. Island's fine. All right, now we put a counter on to each creature and give vigilance. This lets us still hit in. Yeah, we're not getting as many creatures here, but all right, so Revitalize now, draw a card. Unfortunately, that's a land that doesn't work with Uro, also with our life total. Swing in with the 2 that can, right. We need, that land can come into play. Yes, that can. It doesn't let us flip it though. That's interesting. Create another 2/2. All right, we have blockers again. We have 8 life, and we're swinging in. They can trade off with Uro, but it takes the Veteran Adventurer or both of these guys, or 1 and 1, which both we're okay with here, especially because we can bring it back. And then I think we actually get a Maria's Call in the next turn. Ooh, just takes it down to 4. We get 3 more creatures, and we get to phase someone out on the beginning of the upkeep here. Oh man, if the game wasn't going so laggy, this would just be like such a great game, but the lagginess is definitely bothering me. All right, we take it, it's fine. I think that we've got him. I think we actually pulled this off somehow. They can still dig for stuff with Tazri. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people of the party, but there's no party mechanics besides these guys, which we have blockers all day anyway. So we just pass for now. We try to go for lethal on the next turn. That's what's important here. They actually may hold back blockers now. All right, how do you swing? With everything. All right, sweet. All right, we can phase out after we declare blocks. So first off, let's have you block here. You block here. You block there. You block there. Okay, ground creatures are covered. You for sure block there. All right, let's now decide. You block there. You kill there. Block and block. And I don't think we even phase people out here. We could keep the Gilded Goose alive. Or maybe the Tazri so that it forces him to use the ability now. Or we could phase out when we go to blocks, right? So, yeah, I think we do that. We're in great shape now. We're trading off and keeping way more creatures alive. Yeah, that's cool. I'm not missing anything, right? There's no trample. We go to 7. We keep 2 flyers on board. Life feels pretty good. We have the exile ability. They can't actually play. They can play out a Tazri. We can play out a Mary's Call as the card also to make sure these guys get in for flying. So we got him. Yes. Oh my goodness. And yeah, so they knew they were dead because we already had this. We had 4 damage in the air already. Dude. I really did not think we were going to come back from there. Opponent with the early good game as well. It just feels so good to get those matches. Oh, sorry for the laggy game. I'm going to try to restart and kind of reset here and see if we can get some better stuff after this one. All right, we're back at it, and I closed out my computer, restarted everything like that, and I think I'm up against the exact same person. So we're going to play it out, but maybe it's not. I can't remember. This is a sweet hand, though. We have Revitalize, we have Uros, we can get up to our Felidar Retreat, hopefully. Well, unfortunately not a turn early, unless we find a Gilded Goose here. But we get to hold on to a Fable Passage with it, which is sweet. And that's a good land to play with the Uros, so yeah, we'll keep this. Not as much green mana as I'd like, but we can find that with Fable Passage. Cultivate. And this is where this deck becomes harder to pilot for me. I'm still trying to figure out how to do it. Do I want to hold on to Revitalize until we have a Glyphin Area or not? I don't think so. I think that we go ahead and fire it off when we can, because that's just more important to fire things off, right? Oh, no. All right. Well, we can create blockers for this guy. We can also save the damage. We only run a couple Planeswalkers here and there. So not too big of a deal for the most part. All right, so we play Island, Uro, gain some life back, back above starting life total, Temple of Enlightenment. Hitting lots of lands now. Rolling Regrowth when we know that we're going to be playing Felidar Retreat is actually sweet. So keep it on top. Pass the turn. So just build a board full of 2/2s and whatnot, and then we're going to start growing them, start blocking beasts and things, and life will be great. I need to get rid of the pet. I know it always slows down the game a little bit, but, you know, this one's probably the coolest of all the ones I've seen lately. It's pretty cool. It's all right. It's aight. You know. All right. Holding up blue mana. They could have counter spells. I mean, we came to do a thing, though, and we're going to do that thing. Felidar Retreat. Do you resolve? Please. Yes. Oh, that's good. All right, Fable Passage, create a cat. And then we pass the turn. We're not going to play anything else. So pass the turn for now. We can always turn it into a 3/3 if we need to instead. This does happen at instant speed when we can play a land at instant speed. So, you know, that's cool. All right, swings in. Yeah, we'll just take it. Down to 14. Life's good. What are they doing? They're like, they have nothing happening. I'm kind of okay with that. We also have Sublime Epiphany next turn. Let's grab, I guess, another white source. Since we have Ameria's Call, why not? All right, go ye 2/2. Double Ruling Regrowth. That could be really fun. Oh, how do I do this? So I can make him 3/3s and swing in. It's better to do that when we have a bigger board, right? All right, play Forest. Create some cat tokens. I think we just play it safer. I could totally swing in and do some pretty fun stuff, but we'll just pass the turn for now. Hold up the Sublime Epiphany. Brazen Borrow. I mean, they get to just recast the Questing Beast. We can go for the Rolling Regrowth now and create 6 triggers before this comes back to our hand, then we just recast it anyway. That kind of seems okay here. All right, so let's go white, white, green. Yeah, I'm not sure this is the right play, but it's what we're going to do. So Rolling Regrowth, sack the forest, grab a plains and an island, get some triggers. Cat, cat. Resolve. We want these to resolve first. Resolve. Rolling Regrowth number 2. Sacrifice a plains. Grab a forest and a plains. Seems like we need a few more forests. All right, on these ones, we create counters on both of them. 5 4/4s are not too shabby. Good job. You stopped our Felidar retreat. Wow. Good for you. And then we can make him indestructible next turn and go swinging in. That's okay too. The only thing is, I don't know what our opponent is playing at all here. From what we've seen, it's maybe like, all right, it's an Ugin deck, which they can go X0, which is really bad. So we lost out on the Temple of Epiphany, or the chance to Epiphany here. That is annoying. That's really annoying. Takes 7. They just go X0 again here as well. We can play Felidar, create a blocker. We can play Uro, force him to kind of do some other stuff here. All right, so let's go Felidar retreat. Uro. Actually, I want to keep Fable Passage in the graveyard for our guy. They can bring stuff back. Gain some life. Put out green source. Put a cat out. And then play another land. Get in there, cat. Pass the turn. I mean, the Ugin is in an interesting spot now. What do they do about this? They've kind of got to go for the -4. So my guess is that they swing in with the Questing Beast. Unless they have another Brazen Borrower, they can maybe try to trade off with the Uro, which I guess we take the damage now so that we can try swinging instead. They can hit for 7. And then they could go for the +3, actually. That would have been the better play. Plays out Questing Beast. All right, just gonna get our life total down. Not good. I can counter the effect with Sublime Epiphany of Ugin if I play out a Mary's Call. Actually, I don't have the mana for it. Man, if anything had haste, that'd be great. Man, we just can't do very much at all. All right, so play Griffin Airy. Holding on to some spell there. Pass the turn. We're in trouble, guys. Lots and lots of trouble. 3 to face. Yeah, take it. All right, so return non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Target card. We have to bounce the Questing Beast. We draw. This is the best we got. All right, they have a negate. Yeah, we played it fairly well there. They had the Ugin at the right time. We could have held up counter spells, but we countered the Brazen Borrower instead, or we went for the Rolling Regross instead. So that was the misplay. I should have just let it happen, and then it would have been fine. It was just they had really good timing of getting the Ugin up against Sakados, and we don't have green source on turn 1, but we do have Uro, Jace, and like a good hand, so we're gonna go ahead and keep it. It's not bad. Fable Passage to get some green mana. Pass the turn. Blue source, I mean, this can come in untapped, which is nice, but it doesn't need to. We'll probably play out tapped on the next turn. Okay, grab a forest. Play Gilded Goose. Play this tapped. This lets us play Uro then into Gargaroth on the next turn, and then maybe Jace in the future. Pretty sweet stuff. Double Jace. Kicked Jace is really good. All right, so this kills creature planeswalker with converted mana cost 2 or less for 1 mana. Sorcery speed, which isn't amazing. We don't have that very good colors. The extra plane. Oh my gosh, why do we have so many planes in this deck anyway? I think I forgot to change up. Like all of our enchantments are planes, whatever. So we do need them, but I think I need to change up the numbers because I think I have 2 Emeria's Calls in the deck versus the other ones. It's checking the auto suggest is putting in more basic planes as a necessary thing, which is just a little bit frustrating. All right, well, we did create some tokens with Castle Ardenvel. Play Zero. Good for you. And I could probably go down a little bit on the basics that I have here as well. I took out a couple other ways that we were digging for lands, for basic lands. Like I think I had more cultivates in earlier as well. Oh my, you serious? Why would I have 4 basic planes on the top of my deck? Dude, my luck just astounds me sometimes, and how terrible it is. I mean, we get Emeria's Call next turn, so cool. But those are the worst possible draws we can find. That's nice. All right, Fatal Passages. Yeah. 5 cards in the graveyard. Ashiok. Okay. I guess to start making just tokens, which is terrible for us. Agonizing Remorse. Yeah, the Jace and the Elder Gargaroth we just couldn't play because of the stinking lands. Which now do they take them? Emeria's Call they may need to take, because one of them will at least take down the Ashiok eventually. So while the other cards are good, they have an answer for them already. All right. I'd love to revitalize and try to hit a different land, but we have to play Mirror's Call here. Indestructible, or it's non-token creatures. Why is it not showing indestructible on these guys? Am I okay with milling some out just to hit Ashiok once here? Suppose so, sure. All right, so it does have indestructible. It just wasn't showing it on there anywhere. Interesting. God, those are 2 lands we actually want off the top of our deck. That's cool. Heartless Act, they tap 2 black sources. If they have another one, then we're just kind of in trouble. -3 there. Discard the... Oh, man. That's a tough choice. Potential chance to play this. 0 chance of... I guess we dropped the Gargaroth. Because we can't use it. Oh, this is getting ridiculous. All right, they bring back an Uro. Yeah, good for you. If we hit a forest off the top here, I'm going to be so angry. Or Fabled Passage. For exile, for some reason they put it to the bottom, so we would have had an Airy. That is a forest off the top. Yes! It's the best thing to see ever. Roiling Regrowth is interesting. I think I can grab 2 forests here and have this able to play on the next turn. I can bring Ashiok to 1. That doesn't actually help us a lot. All right, pass the turn. Rolling Regrowth is instant speed, so that's nice. We're gonna stay alive, and if we hit a Gargaroth, then cool. But we also then have Ashiok getting it away on the next turn anyway. Oh, I actually may not be able to get 2 forests here. I just realized because one of them got exiled. And I think I'll have exactly enough. So because one of them got exiled earlier, we can get 1 forest, 1 island. All right, Rolling Regrowth. Let's actually dig for something good. Sacrifice the land. Yeah, so we don't have the other forest there anymore. So we can't actually use the Symbiosis. Unless we find a dual land. All right, well, we get to play Uro. That's something. Right? Totally something there. Leave the Fabled Passage. I'd love to find, a Griffin Airy or a Felidar Retreat. We had 8 of those in the deck, so we can find them. Oh, goody. Not any of those. There's like such a small chance we can even cast this anymore. The other thing that can help us cast it is like 2 copies of the Temple of Mystery. So I think we have 1 other chance to actually cast it now. I guess we hold on to it though. Why not? Pass the turn. Oh, Shark Typhoon. This is where having a board wipe in the deck would be nice. Maybe just 2 of. I'm still trying to build this deck exactly how I want it to be, or the best way for it to be. There's a lot of different good stuff out there right now. A Soul type Planeswalkers deck. So this is actually very similar to the deck I built a while ago. I think Jace adds to the Soul type Planeswalker deck quite a bit. Rude. All right, we're gonna wait for 1 more draw and then we're done. What was that at the bottom there? There's a Felidar Retreat. Oh, goody. Yeah, we can't beat these guys anyway. I just want one more draw because it always just gives me some peace and satisfaction whenever something cool actually, yeah, it goes down. All right, more disheartening. Yay. Down to 8. Let's see what that is. Yes. Oh, that's the other way that we can play green sources. So we did have other green sources in the deck, just not basic lands. That's why we have fewer forests. We need to take down the plains numbers though down. So I'm going to make that change really quick. We're going to bring down plains like 1 or 2 and go up some islands and forests. All right, up against max 1 and keep this hand. Not amazing, but definitely a keepable hand. That's a turn 5 great play with Felidar Retreat. So Temple of Mystery. Another pathway. That gets us to the Ancient Green Warden with Felidar Retreat. I feel like we can run into more lands though. We already have, I guess now we can hold up the Disruption. So let's hold up the Disruption and Revitalize next turn. Play this on white. That'll work out well. All right, Lovestruck Beast. Yeah. All right, play this on white. Pass the turn. Adventures is one of those decks that I think our deck has a good shot against it if we were on the play. On the draw, I'm not so sure how we do against it. If it's just Lovestruck Beast here, we will counter. We will counter that as well. All day long. Yep. Let's see here. Yeah, I guess just forest, pass the turn. Hold up, Revitalize. Next turn we're going for Felidar Retreat. I could have drawn then to try to find the Gilded Goose just as the one thing that we can play for 1 mana to maximize that and such. Yeah, I feel like when we're playing our deck like this, it feels like we need board wipes. But whenever we have Uros, Gilded Goose, you know, a bunch of tokens out really early, we need it less. The core spirit person that we have not found once yet, you know, that would be nice to have. All right, so play the other island. Play Felidar Retreat. Please don't get Brazen Borrowed. The one upside with them Brazen Borrowing it is that it doesn't do a ton for them. This turn, it basically just gets it out of their hand. Landfall happens at instant speed, and they can't stop the first trigger. So even if they do it here, we get rid of a Brazen Borrower trigger, and we can play it out, and then the Fable Passages. Fate of Wishes. Digs for Ugin, probably. Oh, that works too. All right, Fable Passage. Go for the Beast. That's probably a better play. Do I Revitalize now and try to dig for something worthwhile? If we find a Griffin Area, it would be really nice. And that would help me know if I want to dig for white mana. I mean, I want to dig for white mana here anyway, right? All right, grab a white source. Create another cat. Let's Revitalize. Into the Well would also be pretty nice there. This is fine. Mystic Repeal goes to the bottom. Fae of Wishes. We'll just take our beats from the Lovestruck Beast here. I guess we have a 5/7 coming out next turn. We'll chump. Keep our life total a little bit higher against this deck where they can bounce a ton of things at once. Teferi. Interesting. Very interesting. Now we're digging for answers. Like Ancient Green Warden, we already have a Field Passage in the graveyard. It's better to play out kind of all at once. So I think what we do, go for the Scry first. We'll keep that on top. That's a decent draw. Teferi. draw a card, draw it, especially with other things being in our graveyard, that's fine. So we can drop a Pathway. No attacks past the turn. All right. Now they can guarantee kill the Teferi. Escape to the Wilds. All right. And one Lucky Clover, which they can play here. Yeah, once they have one of those, it becomes a lot harder to win this game. All right, so Teferi does die. Draw a card. Discarding. We already have three blue sources, so yeah, discard the island. I could go for the Seagate Restoration, just draw a bunch of cards, have tons of cards in hand. We take another massive hit, but if it lets us find an answer, the issue is that I don't have board wipes in the deck. I do have removal. We have 2 pieces of removal we've never found before, which would be really nice to find one of these days. I guess we go for the Seagate Restoration. No more max hand size. Gargaroth, Griffin Airy. We have Griffin Airy, Uro. How much mana do we have here? We have 7, 8. So there's a couple different ways we can change up this deck in the future. I'm not going to change it anymore for this video, but we could go for the Dryad of Elysian Grove with Ancient Green Warden. You can create so many triggers with Griffin Air or with Felidar Retreat there. The issue is that it's a lot more inconsistent. It takes a good turn 4 play. It takes you keeping this guy alive, and then you have to keep your Dryad alive. It is turn 3, turn 4, turn 5 actually, so it kind of works out for the curve. Still though, it's not an easy play there. All right, I love seeing the infinite sign next to our hand there. That's pretty cool. All right, let's go for 7 mana, 8 mana. We have Gargaroth Uro. I can Airy Uro Revitalize. We have no blockers though, but we gain a lot of life. I think Gargaroth has to be a thing that we play. There's a huge chance that it just dies though, anyway. We're just gaining life kind of stops him from killing us, potentially, for a turn. All right, so let's go Airy. We could also just go for Sublime Epiphany. Green side. Uro. Let's go ahead and dig for what else we can find here. Gain the 3 life, draw some cards. Play Temple. That's actually not a terrible draw. It's another blocker. And then we get the Felidar Retreat. Gilded Goose. Pass the turn. If we need to gain life, I can probably hold on to Revitalize to make sure. I guess we can crack food next turn as well. All right, so we have blockers. Brazen Borrower is annoying here. Stomp is probably the worst, though. If we just take 6 damage here, we're dead for sure. Brazen Borrowers. All right. Well, they don't have lethal. They have 8 damage on board. Yeah. Takes the food token away. I guess, yeah, we go ahead and crack that. Keeping the Gilded Goose on board. Yeah, I think we need board wipe. Even if it's the Undo one that's in the white land or whatever. 2 copies of those could be nice. The hard part is that they destroy all permanents, which it would devastate us. We would not want that. So we just need to find maybe a couple copies of Shadow the Sky, throw them in here. We still have not found any of our removal, which we don't have a ton of it. But it'd be nice to, find it 1 and out of like 5 games. Just one time. That'd be nice. Oh, there's an Ugin. Yeah, Ugin hurts us a lot. Ugin hurts us a lot. I can hold up Sublime Epiphany. All right, let's go. How much mana do I have here? All right, so 9 right now. So we have to hit another land to make this work. So I'm going to revitalize first just to see if that's even a game plan we can go for. It is a land that we have to bolt in. That's awkward. Griffinary. We're kind of all in on being able to counter the Ugin. Negate. We don't have an answer for the Ugin, but we stay alive for another turn. Oh, we don't. Because of the 3 damage. All right. We're in so much trouble. I'm only going on because we can stay alive for another turn or two. If we get rid of their Ugin, they didn't play any of Brazen Borrowers. Interesting. I feel like that's how they won there, is if they played out a couple of Brazen Borrowers. Maybe they didn't have the mana up. I wasn't paying attention as much. Plays out Fae of Wishes, draws an extra card. They're not in any rush to play the Ugin, which is the issue here. We have to bounce the Lovestruck Beast. Yeah, so that's fine. We'll go ahead and concede. We're already dead on board here. We can't draw anything that actually saves us there. The only hope was that we could counter the Ugin before they went to combat. All right, here is an interesting hand. We have a couple of tap lands. A turn 2 Airy. If we do draw another untapped land, it's sweet. So this is actually, this is a good hand. So we play out the Vantress first. All right, untapped white or green source here is their best draw. Get an opt. The Seagate Restoration is a little bit awkward with Uro, but we can play it out on the same turn we play it, so it's fine. I'd love to play this on white for the Airy, but we have to be able to play the Uros on the next turn. So play this tapped. With 3 of them in hand, playing those 3 turns in a row is gonna be the best benefit, even if we were missing out on the Griffin Airy. It would be nice to be able to do both at the same time. So like there was a greedy play of just playing out the Airy, which we didn't find what we needed there. So that's, yeah, still the best play. So play Uro. Play Temple. You know what would be nice? A white source. That helps us find white sources. So does Teferi. So does, like, we don't have a Felidar Retreat in hand, so I think we actually go bottom with that. Pass the turn. We also can just play Elder Gargaroth on the next turn. Cultivate. Are we just playing against another Ugin deck? Getting a little bit annoying. Yay. I can play out Temple of Enlightenment. I'm going to go for Gargaroth. If they have a Heartless Act, we're in a lot of trouble. No Heartless Act. All right, we have a shot at least doing something cool here. You know, swinging with Gargaroth and all. But with a hand full of potential removal. All right, using... Shame Scoop. Please Shame Scoop. Extinction Event, put it on the wrong one. Treacherous Blessing. All right. Oh, that's great. Oops. Sorry. I hate that they don't actually let the sorry work anymore. It's so annoying. All right, I guess we draw cards here. Try to draw a card with Gargaroth. I could have gained the 3 life, but we need to be able to play the Griffinary first. Dude, this is so annoying. All right. Down to 14. Kicked Jace is also a pretty sweet play here. Let's go Temple of Enlightenment. Sublime Epiphany, yeah, we keep that on top. Which means one of the kick Jaces is going to die from it, which is fine. So, with Kicker... you go ahead and draw. We know it's going to kill you. Sublime Epiphany revealed in hand. Now, I guess we scry to try to hit that white source. Because that's the really, like... this is pretty good, too. We would have drawn the land, but... both to the bottom? This is worthless unless we find the Felidar Retreat. So, both to the bottom. Pass the turn. Opt. Down to 13. Keeps it on top. Is this like a 4-color Yorion Doom Foretold? Or something? Now Extinction Event. We'll probably cast it on the right one now. Alright, good for you, sir. Good for you. Do we have enough for the Rolling Regrowth as well? We don't have another land. I can dig for it. Potentially. Alright, draw here. If we hit an untapped land, we're in great shape. Otherwise, we play out Uro and Ares. Alright, so... I can hold up Sublime Epiphany as well. For what? Alright, go Griffinary. Go Uro. Yeah, play the planes. It'd be nice to use that with Felidar Retreat, but we get the other Airy here as well. So yeah, pretty sweet stuff there. Now we have a threat. Treacherous Blessing, they're going to have to start dealing with, because we just are going to come up with consistent damage here. Agonizing Remorse. We have a hand full of good things. The next turn we get Felidar Retreat and Rolling Regrowth, which is, if we have another land, 3 triggers, which is right now lethal, actually. Ooh. 3 triggers of Felidar Retreat is lethal. Extinction Event goes for odd, or even. They chose the right one. Good job, sir. Good job. Feed the Swarm. Dude, why in the world did they give black an enchantment removal? You're not supposed to do that, Wizards. Haven't you learned anything? Alright, no guarantee on land. Scry or draw here. Let's go ahead and draw. Ancient Green Warden. The Rolling Regrowth is instant speed, which is really nice. Alright, play Felidar Retreat. Pass the turn. Peer into the Abyss. They must have some sort of win combo right now. Lose half their life, which is already low anyway. Half their deck. What win combo can they have without playing stuff out beforehand? Uro. Okay. Gain some life back. Goes to 1. Goes to 4. Cool. I mean, they get to keep a good hand, but we have lethal here. Okay, discard a plains. Grab plains and forest. 2 triggers. Yeah, Create a cat. Create a cat. And that's game. Whew. Oh, man. Sweet. I mean, opponent did give us a free hit with the Gargaroth. I'm not sure if that would have let them win there, though. Maybe. I don't know. I like this deck. It is fun. It is... I'm not sure if it's quite... like powerful yet. And I think the issue is we never once found a Skyclave apparition, which would have been great to have found. Only having 2 copies is something, but we found so many other things with like 2 copies. Like we found a Sublime Epiphany every single game, which has the same amount of copies. So it's just annoying that we never did. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was in the deck, you know, the whole time. So that's cool. Shatter the Sky probably needs to come into the deck, though. So, yeah, Shatter the Sky would be a nice thing to have into the deck, just as another option that we can go for clearing boards, dealing with all their shenanigans, and trying to regrow. There is a full just straight up control deck you can play with Griffin Airy, Felidari Tree, Uro, like, and then maybe like Joriel, which would be pretty sweet. Again, though, that's the issue. I'm not sure if Shadow the Sky comes into those kinds of decks. And maybe it's just that I'm a little bit too greedy with it and trying to keep as much board as possible, where you have to have interaction, you know? So all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much, and bye-bye.